For those of you guys that did not catch the joke from last week, we are not Satanists. Okay, now let's jump into our review of Naruto 667. So the beginning of this chapter gives us the reveal of the Barefoot Ninja. Is it the Sage of Six Paths? Is it some unknown Uchiha we had never seen yet? No, it's just Kabuto. So everyone who thought it was Kabuto, just pat yourself on the fucking back, because you were correct. And to be honest though, I felt that the reveal was handled kind of boringly. I don't know how to describe it any more than that. I was kind of expecting a big build-up. I was expecting something there. But you know what I got? A lot of talking. And that was kind of fucking boring. And it's not that what they said was not interesting. It's just, I thought I was about to see Guy open up all the gates and, you know, sacrifice himself to beat Madara. But instead, for the first 2/3 of this chapter, I just got Kabuto saying, you know what? Izanami worked. I'm a good guy now. And where the fuck are all the bad guys in this series now? Madara's like the only one left.
I'm kind of in agreement here. I'm really disappointed at the fact that Kabuto ended up being the mysterious barefooted ninja because it's been built up over the last couple of weeks. They sort of tricked us with the whole Karen thing, not recognizing the chakra, and it ends up being Kabuto, even though there was that scene earlier in the cave where Orochimaru took all of his chakra back, and yet here we go, Kabuto gets out of this incredible Uchiha technique and manages to arrive on the battlefield in full Sage Mode power, healing Sasuke. Now, it does make sense. He is a medical ninja, and I can accept that he's probably the one who can probably heal Sasuke the best.
One of the best.
One of the best, if not Tsunade, but she's probably busy hanging out in a massive dust cloud somewhere. Yeah. But, you know, I don't know. I was just really hoping for a lot more. I wasn't expecting the Sage of the Six Paths. I didn't think that this grand godlike character was even going to appear. Hell, I think if we actually get to see him in full view, it's going to be in a massive flashback. I don't see them bringing that character back at all. But the first couple of pages is basically just Kabuto pleading out his case about how he got out of Izanami, accepted himself, and decides that he's going to do everything that Itachi taught him to help Sasuke, and to pretty much just atone for everything. And I don't know, I just don't buy it that much. Maybe it's just the power of the Izanami technique about how powerful it is, how it can truly change you. But every time I see that scene now and I'm reading it, I'm just like, I always remember the scenes where Kabuto is an evil, underhanded bastard who's a grave robber who kills people to summon other people from the grave. And it's just like, no, you're not going to completely atone for that. When they return to Konoha, Orochimaru and Kabuto are not just going to be hanging out with everybody, shooting fireworks and eating dumplings. It's not going to work that way. But I'm just going to accept it for what it is because I can't get too angry about this. It is just a battle manga. This isn't Shakespeare, people. But this week's chapter is made better by the fact that we had some Guy action.
Yes. Let's get back to the interesting part where we thought this chapter was going to begin. Guy ends up powering up almost to the top level, opening I forget how many numbers of gates there are.
I think he opened, let's just say it's the one right before death.
Right before death. He opens the green gate, or whatever it was.
He calls himself the Blue Beast.
Or the Blue Gate, yeah.
Even though he wears all green.
Yeah. And he does attack Madara, and he uses his Morning Tiger technique. But he ends up, Madara ends up, I don't want to say negating it, but taking the attack, and Guy ends up getting his arm and a few ribs broken, and Kakashi looks like he's about to go in there and save him. We're actually the fourth Hokage, because Kakashi throws one of his kunai over there. Mm-hmm. But actually, not Guy. Rock Lee ends up coming in.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, because Rock Lee actually needs to get some action time, even though it looks like Guy's, about to do this next fight for the majority of it. And the chapter really comes to a close with Guy saying, you know what? I'm going to go all out. I'm going to become the Red Beast. And Madara even comments when they were fighting, because of course Madara knows about this technique, because Madara knows about every technique he runs into. And he says, if you want to fight me, you have to be the red form. And it's obvious that Guy is going to go all out next chapter. Or at least he's about to go out. Maybe it's not next chapter.
There might be a twist. They might actually stop Guy from doing this. I really don't want to see Guy.
Kakashi was really shocked when he heard that. Maybe he's going to try to talk to Guy.
It's possible. I don't want to see Guy die. He's a character who's been around for a long time. He's got a lot of really great personality. He's hilarious. And that team has suffered enough. And speaking of Rock Lee and his team, there's an interesting scene where he brings up the fact that when he went to help out Guy, that Tenten is off doing her own thing to check on something. I
Weapons.
don't know if maybe this is a build up to maybe Tenten doing something later, but I think it would be greatly appreciated because she's a very underused character in the manga series. Another scene that I didn't expect at all was they did a whole callback to the scene where Kakashi was hit by the Rasengan.
Oh yeah, they explained that. They explained that.
I love it because, it's sort of a cop-out because it's what Kakashi usually does. He used his Kamui on that arm. And I don't know, I just think it's really funny because we were talking about this earlier. And it's amazing how at the beginning of the time skip when Kakashi was using this technique, it was such a struggle for him just to zap away Deidara's arm, and now when an arm is flying at him, he just instantly makes it vanish. So I just think that's kind of funny. But I'm really surprised they did that because, I don't know, I really appreciated that because, like I said, there's no way Kakashi would have been able to take that Rasengan to the chest and just get up walking. I'm glad they brought that up, so thank you guys for that. But otherwise, this was an okay chapter. All the stuff with Kabuto was kind of alright and just really anticlimactic. But, it was just serving as an excuse to show that Sasuke is going to be okay, Naruto is going to be okay, because they're going to team up against Madara. And all of the Guy stuff, that was definitely my favorite stuff this week.
Like I said last week, I think if Guy does open up the last gate and, does some damage to Madara, because they even said it's Senjutsu or Taijutsu. Those are the ways to hurt someone that has the Ten Tails in them.
And who's the Taijutsu master?
Guy. And so if he does end up damaging Madara really bad and dying, I think his character has done what it could do in this story. And I think you see that a lot in storytelling. I think when characters play out their worth in the story or in the universe, they can die and it can be okay. Now, I don't really know if Guy's going to die, but I'm just saying if he does and he opens up the last gate and does some damage to Madara, it's a fitting way for that character to go.
I mean, are you telling me you don't want to see Guy as a senior citizen with a cane still talking about the power of youth?
I think that could just come up in a thought bubble or something.
I want to see an epilogue of the characters when they're all old and stuff, like Kakashi's still wearing a mask for some reason. And I've been told that they're actually going to reveal Kakashi's face by supposedly this year. I think that's a bad idea. I think it's better to keep him incredibly mysterious.
It's his character.
But that's another reason I want to see the a full epilogue of the series where everybody's a lot older, and I want to see old Guy who's gone blind and has a Fu Manchu beard and the pain. Fuck it. That's what I want to see. Yeah. But I know it's probably not going to happen. But I really can't wait to see what's going to happen with Guy. So we're going to drop a 7 out of 10 on this week's chapter.
Absolutely.
Kind of, middle of the road kind of chapter. But it still had some pretty cool stuff, some cool artwork, some action from Guy at the very end this week. Just all that Kabuto stuff was just kind of a drag.
Yeah, it just could have been more exciting. I guess that's a better way to put it.
That's the thing. Just not a very exciting chapter.
Not a very exciting chapter. Oh, one other thing I do want to say that I really enjoyed. Kabuto's flashbacks were half a page.
Yeah.
They bam, bam. They got in and out of that real quick, and I really appreciated that. I was like, don't you fucking make this a flashback chapter when I was reading that first time this morning. I was like, no. And then it was gone by the next page, and I was like, thank you.
It's going to have a happy ending. Kabuto is going to get to go back to the orphanage, and he's going to be able to teach all of the kids how to raise the dead. It's fantastic. So there it is, guys. That's our review. Remember, guys, before you leave today, we'd love to hear your comments about this week's chapter. And you can tell us with your comments below. Remember, guys, before you leave, hit that like button. It's really, really easy to do, and it helps out our videos quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and you can check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. We're all over the damn internet. So we'll see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.
Boy band pose.
I don't know.
Fuck you, Corey.